You for joining me today. I appreciate it just a few days after your fight. You didn't seem overly happy with your performance in the immediate aftermath. After a few days, have you reflected on that? Are you a bit happier, or how do you feel about it?
I'm I'm always my harshest critic. You know, you got to take people who big you up with a pinch of salt, and then people who break you down with a bit of salt. Do you know what I mean? With a pinch of salt. Um, you got to be your harshest critic at the end of the day. And there was so much more that I should have done that I didn't do. I made mistakes that I shouldn't have made in there. But I did beat him more convincingly than Sean Porter. So whatever I'd done was effective. And you saw loads of things that I've been working on, but you lot ain't seen half of what I've been working on. So there was just a little bit of frustration. He was quite tricky, smothered my work. Footwork was okay, jab was okay, slipping and countering could have done a lot more of that. The list goes on, do you know what I mean? I'll always forever be my harshest critic. You ain't got to worry about that. I don't need people blowing smoke up my rear, and then, you know, I don't listen to the people tearing me down. I listen to my team, and me and my trainer have had a good chat, and this time next year I'll be an even better fighter.
Did he show you anything that you hadn't felt in the ring before?
Just his level of toughness. He was tough, mate. I thought he was going to quit at a few stages. Like, he started wincing and walking back, and, you know, I was sort of goading him by staying on the ropes, and he just had a little walk off, and I thought, yeah, nah, he'd just become a bit of a punch bag.
It's not for me to say that he had no power, but he looked like he never looked like he troubled you. Do you feel like maybe if you'd maybe stuck in there a bit more, as in taking a few more shots, you could have got him out of there yourself?
Yeah, of course I could have. I mean, if it was 12 rounds, would I got him out of there? I don't see him going 12 for me. The way he was getting beaten bad. Do you know what I mean? I thought that his team were either going to call it quits or the ref was going to stop it, because he was just getting a bad beating, and there was no way he was winning a round of that fight.
I know you've just said you don't take notice of anyone giving you praise necessarily, but it felt like from the outside a good week for you overall, in terms of you were the main event. You had, you know, that interview they gave you, very emotional. That I think that connected with a lot of people on social media, certainly. And then to deliver on the night, did it feel to you, if you give yourself some praise, that it wasn't a big week for you?
It was a massive week. I mean, I think everybody was talking about the fight. Everyone kept saying, "Oh, this is a massive step up. Is Conor ready? Or Conor might lose this." And I'll always rise to the occasion. I'll always rise to it. I'll beat you. I'll beat whoever's put in front of me. Or I'll give him one hell of a fight, that's for sure. So it ain't, you know, people kept saying this. They said that about Koivula when I knocked him out in 2 rounds. You know, people always doubt me because of my level of vulnerability, which is fine, because, you know, people love a bit of vulnerability. But it was a big week. It was an emotional week. Not that I went in the right frame of mind. I heard some news articles saying, "Oh, is Conor Benn in the right frame of mind?" They're just doing that to sell an article. I was in a great frame of mind. I just missed my family at that stage. You know, it was just like I didn't see my family for so long, and it was an emotional week. There was a lot of expectation and pressure, and people saying this and that, and I just wanted to, you know, go home. And then this whole pandemic, there's a lot going on in the world at the minute. You know, there's and then sitting down in fight week in the bubble, there was a lot of time to reflect on, you know, where I am, how I got here, and all the challenges life presented to me. A baby boy on the way, a big house renovation going on. You know, there was a lot going on this week. There's a lot going on now. So, you know, it's life.
I mean, there's still a lot of stigma around sort of mental health, especially in men. And then I guess people almost take that to another level with boxers who are supposed to be, or who are obviously tough. But just because you're a fighter doesn't mean that you can't have an emotional side. Maybe what you talking about like this might help other people.
I'm an emotional guy. It goes both ways. I can get really angry really quick. You know, like the flick of the switch, I get angry, you know, really angry. I can then get really upset, and then I can get really happy. My emotions, I'm in touch with my emotions. You know, who cares if I cry? Men cry. For those who say men don't, shallow. People who feel like I'm a fighter, I'm the destroyer, and there's me bawling my eyes out about me missing my family and my little sister, and who cares? Who really does care? Like, so what? And then if a fighter wants to go, yeah, you know, you're this and you're that, well then get in the ring with me and you soon find out, mate. You don't want to be on that other end of the spectrum. Do you know what I mean? So you don't want to see that side of me. And so, you know, people saw that I was quite aggressive come fight night, and you know, I had a lot of attitude when I walked in the ring. I was very aggressive. I was in a right angry frame of mind, just because of all the doubters. Made me really, you know, rev me up quite a lot. Like you know, I was really angry, and it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? People have emotions. I'm human. Do you know what I mean? For those who, you know, go around and go, yeah, all that, a bag of chips. When they, trust me, they feel the same fear, you know, when you get in the ring. They have the same nerves. They have the same emotions. They cry. They get upset. And if they don't, well, then they got cold blood. Do you know what I mean? They're not my cup of tea. They're not my sort of people. People who are all wild and emotionless and they ain't my sort of people.
In terms of post-fight call-outs, you couldn't have been more definitive as to who you wanted next in Josh Kelly. And I know that fight's been bobbling around, it seems like, for a long time now. Is it simply that you just see someone you can beat, or is there more to this rivalry?
We're just polar opposites. We're just completely two different individuals. We're about different things. We carry ourselves differently. Our styles are different. Our attitude's different. We're just polar opposites as individuals, and the public demand it. That's the most fight I get asked about. Every other fight, the only big domestic currently right now is me and Kelly. That's the only pay-per-view big domestic there is. By the end of next year, providing it comes through Avanesian, every other fighter still needs to, you know, build on their own profile instead of using me as clout and trying to use my name to propel themselves, you know. So, but then I would like to fight some of the Yanks. So, as you know, filler fights, you know, 2 fights next year, with some decent oppositions, and then we push on.
You mentioned Avanesian. It feels like Josh Kelly's maybe had a bit of a stumble of late, and Avanesian is obviously no soft touch. Are there any concerns with you that actually Kelly doesn't get through that fight? Never mind your fight.
Yeah, very. I hope he comes through, man. I can't see it. But then again, this is a fight. I proved myself with this fight that I'm levels above, you know, this guy. I'm now ranked top 30 in the world. You know, and I'm the youngest apart from 2 other fighters, Virgil Ortiz and Rashid Ellis, who are unbelievable fighters. You know, and I'm the youngest ranked in the top 30. So, you know, I've proven myself, and I beat this guy easy. Didn't win a round. Beat him easy. Didn't come out of second gear. And he now needs to prove himself with Avanesian.
You're going to become a father, I believe, early next year. Will that have an impact on when you fight again? Will you want some time just to get used to that first?
Possibly, very possibly. I've had time to think about it, and I've sacrificed a lot. As I've, you know, I mentioned Fight Week, I've sacrificed so much in my career to get to where I am, but I'm not willing to sacrifice my firstborn. That's something I'm not willing to sacrifice. You only get that feeling once, and that it's my baby boy. Do you know what I mean? You know, he's me. He's me. I'm bringing me into this world. So, you know, my wife's had to put up with me not being able to take care of her emotional needs with her being pregnant this whole camp. And you know what pregnant women are like. So it's all been about me, and she's put up with that. Not many women would. Not many women would. You know, she ain't give me no grief this camp. She ain't give me no. She's let me do what I've had to do. So the least I can do is you know, take care of my family. And it's like, what is it, work or family sometimes? And you know, I've got to take care of my family. You know, it's all about priorities. And will I still be in the gym learning? Yeah, of course I will. I'll sit down and talk with my trainer about what the best plan is. You know, whether I fight in January, you know, mid to late Jan, and stay training over Christmas, or not fight until end of March, April.
Have you come up with a name yet?
No, we have, but my missus would kill me if I told you. I don't fancy that domestic.
You're not going to call him Conor Jr.
Nah, no. I don't like my name. I'm
Come.
not a fan of my name. I think it's like, it's just not. I don't know. Just no. I don't like the name, really.
Fair enough. Will you be staying in the UK over Christmas? I know you talked about maybe trying to get over to your family, but will you stay here? Or?
I'm gonna try to, man. We're talking about it now. It's just getting hard because I've got a quarantine there and quarantine coming back. So that's 4 weeks quarantine, as well as them letting people in, and then my missus can't come with me because of the pregnancy. And then it's like, well, I've done a bit away for 4 weeks. I'd have to quarantine there 2 weeks, quarantine coming back 2 weeks. That's 4 weeks. Then what I got there for 2 weeks, that's 6 weeks out there without seeing my missus. And it's like, it's just put me in a right horrible situation. It's quite upsetting, really. Yeah, it's quite upsetting. So it's just horrible timing for this whole COVID pandemic and everything.
Yeah, it's certainly getting in the way of so many things. Hopefully, though, it's going to start to come to an end. Just one final question before you go. You have a lot of tattoos. Have you kept any space for one? Should you win a world title in the future and you want to commemorate that?
Win a world title. Listen, I'm all about getting my son's name tattooed on me. We'll sort the world title. That'll come. I'll get the world title tattooed on my leg or something.
Fair enough. Conor, thanks very much for your time. Hopefully
Pleasure, sir.
you have a good Christmas and all goes well with the baby. We'll see you in the ring next year.